Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. In this episode, we will be talking about the DC comics that were released on April 16th, 2014. And we're going to start off with the digital first book of the week, which is Smallville Lantern, issue number 1, continuing, as it says, season 11. And guys, this was a really fast issue because here's the main plot. Okay, stay with me, and it's gonna get you. We're gonna get by this in 2 seconds. A Green Lantern ring searches. There is a flash, of course. See, this is what I love. Even when there's no room for a flashback to actual TV show flashbacks, there's a flashback. You remember the scene where Zod and Clark were fighting on the roof with the
with the blue kryptonite stick to the chest and the whole Christ.
Right. Basically, when Zod was teleported to Argo Colony, or the new planet where all the Kryptonians were teleported to.
Yeah, after that.
That's where the Green Lantern ring went past.
Really? I didn't even think.
And that was how many years ago? I forgot how. Does it say how many years ago? Or 2 years ago.
I was just gonna say 2, to be honest. Yeah.
So 2 years later, that ring makes it to. You're not even gonna care about the dialogue too much with Chloe and Oliver. So that ring makes it to Earth, and guess who it chooses? Gee, look at the cover of this. This is a really nice cover, by the way. I love this cover. It chooses Clark as the newest recruit of the Green Lantern Corps for Sector 2814.
They could use CGI if it was going to be on TV.
They bring in John Stewart, who apparently is a police officer. He is, excuse me a minute, a detective. So John Stewart's a detective, as he is also a Green Lantern. They do mention Hal Jordan and the whole Parallax situation, but apparently Hal Jordan is gone. Like, the whole Parallax thing is over, but Hal Jordan hasn't come back from the dead yet. So Clark tries to get rid of the ring. He takes it off. He tosses it into space. It does a loop-de-loop around the moon and goes right back to Superman. He can't control the ring. There's a problem. There's a bank or like a robbery going on, and he can't control the ring. John Stewart shows up. Clark tries to say he can't be a part of the Corps. We also get a new supervillain introduced. For those of you that know pre-New 52, oh god, his name is Prometheus. This is him. And John Stewart's basically saying, you're now officially a soldier of the Green Lantern Corps. And then we get a little bit of in the Yellow Lantern Corps. I believe this is going to be Sinestro, but you have Manhunters now aiming for Earth, so I believe that's Sinestro.
Which is Sinestro's army, probably. It's going to lead into that.
Because whoever it was, who was part of the Yellow Lantern Corps, I can't call it Sinestro yet till I know it's Sinestro, says there's now 2 rings on Earth again. He might believe it's Hal Jordan. He might just not want there to be more than one Green Lantern on Earth, but whatever it is, I'm looking forward to the next book. You guys are already knee-deep in the next volume of Smallville. Harley Quinn issue number 5. This book did nothing for me this week. I mean, Mike Spiderson and me were talking about this before a little bit. The last issue was very, very good. This issue kind of dipped down again. Harley is teaming up with this guy here to kill all of the Nazi people who have who are hiding or who are, you know, living in America or in the area, who basically tortured him and a bunch of other people during World War II. And there are very silly moments in here. I mean, there's a dream sequence which was really completely trippy. Like, completely trippy.
Oh my god, it even looks that way.
Yeah. And, that's basically the whole point of the book. She's just palling around with this guy going off killing ex-Nazis. And then the ending is explosive, I will say that. It's an explosive ending, but I don't know. I hope this book isn't doing what I think it's going to do with like the whole trying to be like Deadpool. I mean, I was really liking Harley Quinn. DC, don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. I mean, we had a good issue, then we had a really low issue. Then we had last issue, which was a good issue, and now we're back to the lows again.
Like an up and down slope.
Yeah, I just hope that things pick up by the next issue, or else I might actually consider dropping it. There's just way too much out there right now to hold on to everything I have if it's just average or below average. And this book definitely was just boring. Not boring. It was out there.
Oh boy, let's see how this goes. Red Hood and the Outlaws issue number 30. I was going into this book with an open mind this time, because the last time was just all over the place. But this time, there's only one part of this book that actually is making me keep the book. But I'll spoil that in the end when we get to that, because you're not going to believe who shows up and everything. So it's basically Jason Todd and Star Sapphire, who are going back to the spaceship to Roy to see what's happening and everything. There's a little robot guy who teams up with Jason Todd, and there's just like a whole big thing. Here's Roy, who comes face to face with those 3 bad guys. Like, finally, you're gonna make your move already. So, instead of saying who they are and everything. So he gets caught with the whole thing of what he was doing, and there is lots of dialogue though. But Roy actually had a good strategy with those arrows of making it electric. And in comes in Frankenstein. The artwork is pretty good. Agent of Shade Frankenstein comes in, and they do have a fight. Like, he has a fight with Jason Todd, and I think it looks like that they had a feud with each other from way back when. And there's like an interesting fight scene that happens there. And they find a spaceship, but Frankenstein, who tried to stop them, the little robot guy I was talking about before, actually saved them. So Roy is trying to get back in contact with them, and this is what made my jaw drop. Roy meets up with Lobo. And this is the new 52 Lobo that we saw from Villains Month. This is the Lobo that is actually
pretending to be Lobo.
Right. So that made me jaw drop for like 3 minutes, saying, okay, I'm going to see how this is going to play out. It was, first of all, was better than before, actually, because they had interesting dialogue. But if it's going to go in a way that I'm like, okay, what are you talking about? Then I'm going to drop it. I just want to see how they're going to play with Lobo and everything.
Supergirl issue 30. And I got to tell you guys, I didn't even realize I was reading Supergirl. I started reading the book. It reads, and it is, basically, a second Red Lantern book. Even though Supergirl is the main character, I completely forgot after the second or third page that I was reading a Supergirl book. Automatically, I thought I was reading Red Lanterns issue 30, and then I went to the back. I got to the end of the book, and it said to be continued in Red Lanterns issue number 30, and I went, Red Lanterns issue 30, and I opened the book up, I closed the book, and I said, oh my god, this is a Supergirl book. So, basically, Supergirl's now part of the Red Lantern. She's still whining and bitching that she wasn't so connected on Earth and everything was horrible. And now she actually has a meaning to her life. She was just a horrible person. You have Blaze, who's on Earth looking for Supergirl. She finds out that Supergirl was in New York along with, Banshee. So she teleports to New York. She escapes the block. Blaze is in critical condition on Yasmal. You have a little bit of dialogue with Guy Gardner and Kara. Kara wants, in the beginning of the issue, we see them coming or fighting against these world killers, so to speak. And she talks about back in the day when she was young, there were these world killers, and they tried to attack Krypton. They claimed they were made on Krypton, and she wants to stop them. And then this is what really pisses me off about the New 52. She's talking about Krypton and her father, Zor-El, and her mother, right before she left Krypton. And apparently, Zor-El was shot by his wife right before Kara was sent off into space. So, I don't understand. Zor-El was trying to save his daughter, and his wife, Allura, shot him. I remember pre-New 52, everything was much different. I mean, Jor-El and Laura, their part stayed the same, but they changed Supergirl's parents to like, this is a darker universe, and I am not comfortable in this dark DC universe sometimes. I'm really not. I mean, I never would have, before Pre-New 52, I never would have thought that Allura would have shot Zor-El before they sent Kara away. I mean, they probably did mention this in a previous Supergirl issue that I didn't read, but that's some dark stuff, DC. You really have darkened up your universe trying to reach out to a newer readers, but it's not working. You're holding the older readers, so since you see you're not getting too many new ones, please bring it back. Bring it back, the old DC universe, because this is kind of dark. And then we find out that the Diasporan, or those are the world killers that the Red Lanterns are fighting against, they want Kara Zor-El to join them. And that's really where it's left off. But it's basically leading into Guy Gardner leading the Red Lanterns against Atrocitus. So in the next issue of Red Lanterns, we're going to see the Red Lanterns going up against Atrocitus and his Red Lanterns. In the next issue of Supergirl, we're probably going to continue that story, because now apparently since Supergirl's a Red Lantern, we have 2 Red Lantern books each month, which I'm not complaining about because I enjoy Red Lanterns right now. However, if you're a Supergirl fan and you were looking for a very Supergirl-centric story, even though Supergirl is part of the Red Lanterns, this is basically Red Lanterns 2.0. That's exactly what I felt like, because I didn't even realize I was reading Supergirl until I shut the book. Because it reads like a Red Lantern book. The hunt for Robin continues with Batman and Wonder Woman. They are now on Paradise Island, and they want to know why Ra's al Ghul is on Paradise Island. Batman thinks that it's because there's a possibility that there's a Lazarus pit there, and Ra's actually mentions, they come face to face with Ra's later on, because they find out where such a pit might exist, but it's not what Ra's thinks it is. Ra's wants to find a pit that is like the Lazarus pit, but will also erase all memories from Damian and Talia's mind. Basically, they'll be blank slates reborn into the world where he can mold them into what he wants them to be. So Talia won't remember loving Bruce, and Damian won't remember anything about being Robin, or his time with Bruce, or even his upbringing. It'll be like blank slates that have to be retaught again. So now it's really up to Batman to save the day before it's too late. Also, we find out how there were 2 pages about how Ra's al Ghul found Paradise Island in the first place. And it turns out it's not really a Lazarus pit that they opened up. They released this dark monster, which was what Batman was warned about. Ra's gets away again, who didn't see that coming. And the monster's basically defeated. Long story short, the artwork is very interesting. I'm not going to say it's bad, I'm not going to say it's amazing, but it's interesting. And basically, it's a fast read, and Batman's off again to follow Ra's al Ghul wherever he plans to go next to save his son. He doesn't even care about Talia. He's like, I just want my son. So, in other words, you could wipe Talia's head completely clean. I don't care. I want my son back. Dead. Not even alive. He just wants Damian to be dead, and that's... I mean, I understand Batman's point of view, but we all know, obviously, with Robin rising, Damian's gonna come back. Let's just hope Damian has a memory of all the stuff that happened before he died. Or else that's gonna be really interesting. Batman Zero Year, this is the final act, or chapter 3, issue number 30. With the exact same cover we got for chapter 1, issue 1. And the exact same cover we got for chapter 2, part 1. This is the final act. So, Bruce Wayne survived the explosion in the previous issue. But he woke up weeks, maybe days later, and here's what Gotham is now. Basically, the Riddler runs everything. He owns everything. And he won't free Gotham until somebody, some hero, is able to give him a riddle he can't answer. And Gotham is just dark and dismal. I mean, people tried to fight against the Riddler. At first there were many, and then those many turned into very, very few to almost none. So basically, Alfred wants Bruce to sneak his way out of Gotham through the tunnels from Crime Alley, his base in Crime Alley, and fight this from outside of Gotham, because Gotham's closed off to the entire world. And Bruce decides, no, I'm going to stay in Gotham, and we're going to fight. All at the same time, you have Jim Gordon, who's actually trying to find a way to fight against the Riddler, and he actually brings these people in who are from outside. Riddler actually sees this happening. It turns out the people that are from the outside aren't there to help Jim Gordon. They're there to offer Riddler $50 million to release Gotham and, you know, to do whatever he wants, untraceable bills. And then he's like, I don't want your money. And he tries to kill them. Guess what? Batman's back, everybody. And Batman saves the day with Jim Gordon and the soldiers. And that's basically the long and short of it. There's a bunch of dialogue in there, but as you can see, Bruce decided to stay in Gotham and to fight. And this time he's determined to win. And we all know he's going to win because
he's Batman.
Yeah. This was a nice continuation issue. Riddler actually considers this 0 year, by the way. That's why the whole title 0 year. The Riddler actually is saying that he started a new year, so this is now 0 year. He restarted time and everything. It's past the new year for 0 year. So, Batman's back. Now let's see what Batman's going to do. I believe this is going to end in July or August. So we have about 5 more. Well, we're in April, May, June, July, August. We got 4 or 5 more parts. Probably is going to be an extra size final issue for 0 year. But I just can't wait to get out of the past. I mean, the whole Forever Evil is over now. So I would like to get out of the past now and move back to present story Batman. And instead of the hunt for Damian Wayne. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit phlegm.
Relax.
A number one that was actually really awesome this week. Sinestro. Issue number 1. It's not even Sinestro's Yellow Lanterns, nothing. It's Sinestro. So Sinestro's gone into a, what's it called? A self-imposed exile.
Also, they don't go back to the story where it was green and everything?
Nope. Well, yeah, this is after that. He exiled himself. He forsaken Parallax, so Parallax is no longer bonded to him. Parallax, he forsaked him, and he threw him out of his body and got rid of him. Or at least that's what I get from all this. Basically, he let Parallax go and forsake him. Lisa Dark shows up. Lisa Dark, or however you say her name, and she tries to convince Sinestro he needs to come back because Arkillo is running the Yellow Lanterns now, and he's doing it all wrong. He's recruiting 1 million people who are already plotting to kill him and take over the Yellow Lantern Corps. Everything's going dark. There's what are these people called? The Anti-Emotion Herd, which is a bunch of people who have no emotions whatsoever. They're rising. And then, this still doesn't get to Sinestro. Even when Lisa shows him that she actually became the Book of Parallax, he's still not impressed. And then she tells him the one thing that he wanted to hear, or the one thing he needed to hear to actually snap out of whatever he's in. She's like, your people are still alive. Even though your planet was destroyed, your people, there are still people out there scattered that ran away from your planet a long time ago to escape you. And that just triggers the ring. He becomes a Yellow Lantern again. And apparently because Lisa Dark is part of the Book of Parallax now, all Sinestro has to do is put his ring up to her. It fully charges. He finds a few of his people on a ship that's floating off in the middle of nowhere. And then he goes back to the Yellow Lantern Corps where he is back to rule over them. He won't even look at Arkillo. He's disgusted with what Arkillo's done. And then Arkillo, because he found out also that the Yellow Lanterns are going to go to war against the Green Lanterns again, led by Arkillo, and he's like, you're doing it wrong, you're stupid, why are you doing this? He's like, my crusades already, it just barely started, and we even have our first prisoner. And it's Sinestro's daughter, Saronic. And that's where it's left off. So, I don't know if Sinestro's going to be fighting, what's his name? Arkillo for the right to lead the Sinestro Corps again. I mean, Arkillo's even calling it the Arkillo Corps now. But this was a good first issue, very solid. I definitely am hooked for the rest of the series. I'm looking forward to the next issue. I'm glad Larfleeze is ending because this book definitely looks like it has a lot of promise to it. So I can't wait for the next issue of Sinestro. Speaking of Batman, we're in present-day Batman here with Batman Eternal issue number 2. We find out who's behind framing Jim Gordon. Batman's going to try to prove Jim Gordon's innocence. The entire Bat family is brought together in this issue when the Gotham Gazette publishes the article that Jim Gordon is the reason why all the death happened or the accident happened in I want to find the page, in Gotham, all of a sudden you have the entire Bat family reconnecting with Alfred. And where is it? Did I miss it? Yeah, here, post. You have Batgirl, Red Robin, you have the oh god, why did I forget her name? She's gonna be the new Bluebird. But anyway, you have Jason Todd, you have Batwing,
Jason Todd,
and you even have Batwoman. Basically, everybody finds out about it, and now everybody's heading back to Gotham. So we are gonna get a Bat Family reunion, and we find out that Jim Gordon was set up because somebody who it's revealed at the end of the issue. We also get some guy who has these psychic powers who shows up in the middle of the issue, who's observing the wreckage. We have Blackfire who shows up for one page. So a lot's going on, and remember, this is a weekly series, so they can do that. Catwoman makes an appearance. Batman's still trying to prove Jim Gordon's innocence, and yeah, basically, Batman puts 2 and 2 together, and it turns out the mayor is talking to the person that did all this, by the way, that set everything up. Not going to spoil it in this issue. I'm going to wait till next week and tell you guys who it is, but it turns out somebody wants to take the city back, not only from Batman, but from Jim Gordon, who looked to clean up the city. Basically, this person wants Gotham to stay the dark and dirty, underhanded place that it's been since before Batman. And in the next issue, actually, Batman tries to stop a gang war, and the police have nowhere to help him. So, once again, this is a very dark time for DC. I mean, Gotham was dark pre-New 52. It's even darker now. And that's saying a lot.
A whole lot.
So, I'm hooked for this series. It was a really good issue. If you guys aren't checking out Batman Eternal, you really should. 2 more issues left. Try to get yours done quickly.
Yes, the after effects of the Forever Your Blind, Trinity and Pandora, issue number 10. Pandora actually learned something after this whole Blight thing happened, and there are about 3 people that have a hit on Pandora, which we'll get into. She goes to Marcus, and they're together, by the way. And the artwork
how about that?
You know, the artwork is excellent. So, after that, we have Agent Kincaid, who wants to go after Pandora. If you want to know why, you should definitely read the book. And then we get like an arch enemy that we saw from Pandora issue number 2, Giganta. Thank you. And they have a bit of a fight scene. But what she learned from Blight is that, as you read on, she doesn't want to kill anymore. Like, she just wants to just try to like make sense.
But she has to go
them.
after the sins.
I know. Wait, it gets even something else also.
Oh, Vendel Savage.
Yeah, he's also after Pandora for his obvious reasons. And Pandora uses her new powers that she had since Blight just to like read the minds, and she wants to help Giganta, but she doesn't want like help. Like, no matter what she says about her life, she's like saying, you know, I don't want to hear about this and everything. And Marcus kind of helps her out a little bit, and this is the part in the end where
Vendel Savage is going off.
Yeah, along with Agent Kincaid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the only thing that she learned is that she just said in the end, you know, like, I don't want to kill. She doesn't want to do that anymore. And I think with the sins, I think she like...
She has to destroy them.
I think it mentions something about that's already been done or something. Like, I don't know, maybe, but...
Forever Evil tie-in, and the only one we're going to probably get this month, because of everything being set back. Justice League, issue number 29. Cover says it all. The Metal Men are back. The Professor brings the Metal Men back, and basically, Cyborg wages his war against Grid. He calls Grid out. Grid comes out. Grid thinks he's hiding from... Grid thinks Cyborg's hiding from him. He's like, I'm not hiding. I'm right here. And I've got friends. And the Metal Men attack Grid. Cyborg fights Grid. Grid actually then goes into Cyborg's mind and says, I took your body once. This time I'll take your humanity. And he tries to pick Cyborg apart. And you got the Metal Men who are fighting the... Oh god, who showed up at the... When the... Fearsome Five. So Grid brought the Fearsome Five in to fight against the Metal Men while Cyborg fought against Grid. In the end, though, Cyborg just proved to be a boss, and again we see another Crime Syndicate member bite the dust. Grid is not dead, however, he is shut down and trapped in his body. But also, Steve Trevor shows up in the end with Killer Frost, so it's all coming together.
From August,
and it turns out that they were followed by a bunch of other supervillains, and now it's up to Cyborg to save the Justice League. Gotta get a camcorder real soon. Sorry guys, the battery on the other camera died, so we're on this one now. So, the book, once again, you see Cyborg basically lock Grid or trap Grid in his old body. So Grid is basically locked away. You got a bunch of supervillains, and now it's up to Cyborg to save the Justice League, because Steve Trevor was taken out of the equation thanks to these guys right here, who basically put him out. Not killed him, but they put him out. Also, in the beginning, I like the reintroduction of the Metal Men, like the rebirth, so to speak, of the Metal Men. We also get a bit of a flashback where Cyborg kind of like briefs everybody on what happened to him. This is going back to Justice League War, where Atomica was said to be the traitor, and also Grid separated from Cyborg, leaving...
Oh, the one that messed up Cyborg, that turned him into Grid.
Right, and then the Crime Syndicate came through. But this was definitely retribution for what Grid did to Cyborg. I thought it was spectacular. This was a really good issue. Again, though, we're not going to see, for everything keeps saying, continued in Forever Evil 7. This is already past Forever Evil 7. We're not getting shit because we got to wait till the end of May. Not even the beginning of May. Not even the middle of the May. The end of May.
Your birthday. Happy birthday.
I don't want it.
Well, that'll be a good gift if we get Forever Evil.
So Forever Evil is ending at the end of May. We're supposed to be done with Forever Evil. Future's End is starting next month. Batman Eternal started this month. I mean, come on. Really, DC? Why did you hold it off? And everybody knows that Dick lives now because Grayson #1 is coming. I talked about this on the It's a Podcast. It's a Bird Explained. It's a podcast. My first episode. You can check it out there. I mean, we're already moving forward. I want to know, by the end of May, anybody out there going to be interested in seeing the ending of Forever Evil 7? The only reason I'm going to be interested in seeing it is I want to see if anybody gets sent back to Earth 3 or the entire Crime Syndicate gets killed.
Oh, I hope that they get
I'm telling you the truth.
Syndicate.
The way this new DC universe is and how dark it is, I wouldn't be surprised if all the Crime Syndicate members died. I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't either.
In pre-New 52, they hardly killed anyone, and it was a shock when somebody died.
I want a Crime Syndicate to fall.
I know,
yeah.
but after the New 52, anybody can die, anybody can kill at any time. Good job. Why? Why are comic books... Why did DC go the dark route like Marvel did? Marvel, it worked, because their characters kind of fit, because they've been like this, Marvel. DC's always been the lighter universe. Now, I hope they never do a DC and Marvel crossover ever again.
Oh, God, no, please. Because Lord knows what will happen if that ever happens again.
No. But out of all the books from DC, I like Justice League this week. That was one of my top books. Batman Eternal was very strong, and with the introduction of who we believe is going to be the antagonist throughout all of Batman Eternal, who's going to be going up against Batman, and who already screwed Jim Gordon, and who knows what else is going to be going on in the book. This is really shaping up to be a really big maxi series. Also, you're going to be doing Future's End starting next month. I'm going to be doing World's End, which is going to be the third. I'll be talking about this on the podcast this week, which is going to be the Earth 2 maxi 52-issue series.
And also I'm taking the Pandora.
And you're taking Pandora. You're keeping Pandora.
Because the way it's coming out, though. I mean, Red Hood was okay, but Pandora would actually be the top pile over that. But that's about it, really. From my end.
So that's about it, guys. I mean, I'm looking forward to next week. There were some good books. Like I said, the Justice League book definitely stood out to me. Sinestro was really good. I would definitely recommend that. And Batman, there were a few Bat books that were good in between here, there, and everywhere. I'm just trying to stretch this part out a little bit so I don't just add a minute more to the show. But definitely check out Justice League. Forever Evil, I'm just upset that it's taking so long for the final issue.
And is Justice League United going to be part of the whole...
Yeah, that's right. Justice League United is next week.
And
You're issue 0.
Yeah, now I'm going to look into. So, yeah, that's going to be...
This Wednesday, actually. Today's Monday. This review is going up Tuesday, so tomorrow.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, that's going to play into that, too. So, I don't know why they're doing that.
But anyway, guys, thanks for sticking around. Don't forget to check out Comic Related, Comic Frontline, and Zone4Podcast.com. Together, we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Guys, I have a weekly podcast that will be out this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Could be a morning stream with me and Brant, one of those days. Who knows if I might do a morning stream by myself, but I doubt that because I'm going to be doing the podcast. So the morning stream with me and Brent will be sometime during the weekend. Podcast is on Thursday, and look forward to the live show on Comic Frontline tomorrow. Or today, because you're watching this on Tuesday. Look forward to the live show today. Media Madness is going to be on Wednesday, which we're going to be doing Vampire Diaries this week. Yeah, we'll survive.
We'll survive. I know, we will.
There are going to be weeks that we don't like.
I know.
We'll survive it.
I know.
And, yeah. So that's about it, guys. As always, please feel free to leave comments below. Likes, dislikes, agree, disagree, recommendations. Love it. Your comments will be heard on the weekly comic book haul this Friday. Look forward to a international unboxing. Oh, however, it wasn't a box that it came in, so there's no box. So we're gonna, well, you'll see. I'll explain in the video, but yeah. So look forward to a special international unboxing. So until next time, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we will see you guys really soon in the next review. See you guys then.
Later, guys.